Hi guys, it's your boy Mr. Richard. So in this video we are going to review arithmetic sequencing. Yes, you have already dealt with linear sequencing in grade 10. So you already learned that D is for a common difference, and that A is a first term, and that N is a position of the term. So it is important to understand the notation used in number patterns. In grade 11 and 12, the first term is denoted as T1, second term is T2, and blah, blah, blah. So it's very important. So today, we are going to work with this formula, this general formula. So here in grade 11, yes, you are familiar with this formula. So note, guys, that an arithmetic sequencing is applied when the common difference is known. You can apply an arithmetic sequencing when the common difference is known. But if it is not known, you must think of other sequences, right? I'll start with the first question here. Our first question for today, consider this. Let's say in a linear sequence, you are given third term. Third term is equals to -2. And you're given the 10th term as 19. So they want you to find the general term, right? They want you to find the general term. Okay, this is quite a little bit tedious, but it's very important. Consider this. We're given T3 as is equals to -2. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to say T3. Remember our formula, it's A plus N minus 1D. Where there is N, you shall place 3 there. So it's going to be 3 minus 1. Then the difference, we don't know the difference. We don't know the first term as well. 3 minus 1, that will be A plus 2D. Right, T3. Note that T3 is given as -2. Where there is T3, you shall place -2. So we are having A plus 2D. So this is the first equation. When there are two missing values, guys, the only technique that you can use, it's a simultaneous method when there are two missing values, right? Okay, let's move to the 10th term. This is the 10th term. It's equals to 19. Remember, it will be A plus N minus 1 difference there. Therefore, we have A. Where there is N, we shall place 10. So it's going to be 10 minus 1, then difference there. 10. Right. So this is A, 10 minus 1, that will be 9D. Then remember that 10 is given as 19. Well, we already have our second equation. Then to be free from this, well, we have equation 1 and equation 2. Let us apply simultaneous method. Okay, remember, you may recall that I have A plus 2D is equals to -2, right? So if I can take 2D to the other side, I can make A the subject. So this will be -2 minus 2D. Remember, this is your equation 1. Then let me substitute equation 1 into equation 2, meaning that I will substitute it into equation 2, meaning that where I see A, I shall replace with -2 minus 2D. So let's go to equation 2, and we plug there. So remember that where we see A, we shall put -2 minus 2D there, right? Okay, so from here, this is what we are going to do. Remember that we place -2 minus 2D, therefore it will be 9D here. Then what are we going to do? We are going to work with this. We're going to solve for D. Take out this will be -2. Take out this into brackets. This will be -2 minus 2D plus 9D, and this is 19. Okay. Right. So to make things easier, let's collect the like terms. We shall take 2 to the other side. It will be 19 plus 2, I mean. Change its sign, then -2D plus 9d. It's the same as 9 minus 2, which is 7d. Remember to know how to work with your integers there. Then when we say 19 plus 2 there, we know that will be 21. So we are left with 21 is equals to 7d there. Then to get d, we shall divide both sides by 7. Then this and this, they cancel. How many times does 7 goes into 21? It goes 3 times. Therefore, we did got our difference as 3. Right, so let's move. We are going to work with this, the value of a. How do we get the value of a, which is our first term? Go back and take your first equation there. Remember, we did make it. This is our first equation. A is equals to negative 2 minus 2d. Where there is d, we shall place 3. Then let's place it. So we are going to say a is equals to negative 2 minus 2d. Then where there is d, we shall place 3. Okay, it's fine. Okay, negative 2 times 3, that will be negative 6. Negative 2 minus 6, that will be minus 8. Then that's how you can work with such problem. That's how you can work with such problem. Grade 11s. Hope you saw what I did here. This is a very important question. Remember, the question says we should find the general term. Okay. Already we have a sequence here. We must create a sequence. Our first term is negative 8. Then, all right. But even if we don't create a sequence, to make things simpler, we just can substitute to this original formula, a plus n minus 1d. What is our first term? It's negative 8. What is our difference? It's 3. Okay, therefore, let's see. This will be negative 8, then 3, multiply everything that is inside the bracket. That will be plus 3n. Then negative 1 multiplied by 3, that will be negative 3. Therefore, work with your integers. Negative 8 minus 3, that's negative 11. So it's going to be 3n minus 11. So that's the situation here. That's how you can find the general term. Right, let's move to the other problems. Yes, so we're going to move to the other problems. Consider here, you are given a sequence. This sequence, it's 12, 6, 0, and negative 6. We are required to determine the general term. Remember, I told you, for you to find the general term, you must have your first term and your difference there. Our first term, it's 12. Therefore, A here, it's 12. What about the difference? The difference, you are going to say T2 minus T1, 6 minus 12, that will be negative 6. 0 minus 6, that will be minus 6 also. So meaning that our difference is negative 6. So from this case here, we are going to say Tn, A plus n minus 1d. Then the first term here, it's 12, right? Therefore, n minus 1d, difference is negative 6. Therefore, right, so we're going to have 12 here. This negative 6 multiplies everything that is inside the bracket. It will be negative 6n, as well as negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 6, that will be positive 6. Therefore, 12 plus 6, that will be 18. So in other words, we're having 12 minus, having 18, sorry for that, having 18 minus 6n. So that's the general term of the sequence for this n term, right? So that's how you're going to get that. So question B, which is our question 2, it says determine the fifth term of the sequence. When they say determine the fifth term of the sequence, actually here they are looking for the position, meaning where there is n, you shall place 50 there. So it's going to be 50, which will, we can substitute to n here. We can use this formula there. Say 18. Sorry for that. That's 18 minus 6 there. Where there is n, place 50. Therefore, we know 6 times 50 there, that would be 300. So 18 minus 300, that will be negative 282. So when you punch your calculator, you're going to get negative 282 from this case. So our third question says, which term of the sequence is equals to negative 198? Which term will be equal to, actually, they gave us Tn. Such questions here, you can know this is Tn. This is the last term, actually. So in other words, Tn, it's going to be negative 198. We are still going to use our general term here in this case. So we are going to say negative 198, which is equals to 18 minus 6n. Then when you take 18 to the other side, it's going to be negative 198 minus 18. That will be negative 216. Okay, which is negative 6n. Then we need to make n the subjects. Divide both sides by negative 6. Divide both sides by negative 6. Then let's see. When you get 216, then you divide it by 6. That will be 36. So in other words, that's 36. In other words, T36 is equals to negative 198. You can substitute back. You will see that it gives you negative 198. Right? So lastly, in an exam, they can ask you, or they can question you using variables. So it's very important to know, to have a knowledge of variables. Let's take a look of our last question here that involves variables. We are given 2x plus 10 and x plus 14 and x plus 8 is a linear. Then we are required to determine the value of x there. Okay, to make things simpler, guys, this is T1 and this is T2 and this is T3. Okay, so in this case, this is what you're going to do. Yes, to find the value of x here, we are going to use a constant difference. Yes, so we are going to say T2 minus T1, right, which is equals to T3 minus T2. That's what we are going to do. What is our T2 then? Our T2 is it's x plus 14. Our T1 it's 2x plus 10. So this is the formula for a common difference. So in other words, it's D is equals to T2 minus T1, T3 minus T2. So you can use this formula. But remember, when you're working with variables, put brackets to be on the safe side. Then let's go to our T3. Our T3 there, it's x plus 8 minus our T2, which is x plus 14. Okay, so let me work out this. So let's work out the left hand side. So to get the left hand side, what are we going to do? Take out your bracket. So we're going to have x plus 14. This negative affects everything that is inside the bracket. It's going to be negative 2x minus 10. Okay, we are done with the left hand side. Then let's go take out the brackets. X plus 8. This negative affects everything that is inside the brackets. It's going to be negative x minus 14. Okay, from here, you are going to collect the like terms. When we collect the like terms, we know x minus 2x, it will be negative x, right? 14 minus 10, that will be 4. Okay, then we go to the other side. X minus x, that will be 0, right? So we are going to be left with 18. So you can just say, take your calculator or use a mental, guys. Yeah, you can use a mental. So 8 minus 14, we know that will be negative 6. Yes, it's negative 6. Right? To be on the safe side, you can use a calculator or you can use a mentally. Yes, your mental maths from primary level. That's negative 6. Right? So from here, we know this is negative x. We need to make x the subject. So let's take 14 to the other side. Let's take 14. So it's going to be negative 6 minus 4. That will be minus 10. So we have negative x there. Divide both sides by negative. This will be positive x and this will be positive 10. Hence, we have find the value of x there. Okay. So the last question says determine the general term of the sequence. Yes, to determine the general term of the sequence, we need to create a pattern there. Meaning when we place 10, 2 times 10 there, that will be 20, right? 20 plus 10, that will be 30. Already we have 30 here. So, okay. What about the other term? 10 plus 14, that will be 24. Okay, then 10 plus 8, that will be 18. Okay, we need to find the difference. Since they said this is a linear, our difference will be minus 6, because 24 minus 80, it's minus 6, 18 minus 24, that's minus 6. So then we can use the general term. Tn is equals to a plus n minus 1d. Therefore, we are going to say, what is our first term? It's 30. Therefore, 30 plus n minus 1. Difference is negative 6 there. Therefore, it will be 30. Oh, negative 6 times n, that will be minus 6. Sorry, for here, it will be minus 6. Negative 1 times negative 6, that will be positive 6. Right? Positive 6n, don't forget. Then let's write this in a standard formula. In a standard form, it will be 6n. Then we are going to have, in this case, remember we said that, okay, this and this. Oh, this was supposed to be, okay, I think I made a mistake here. Let me restart it afresh so that I do things that are accurate, something that is accurate there. Negative 6 times n, that will be minus 6n. And negative 1 times negative 6, that will be positive 6. So in other words, we are going to have 80 plus 6, which is 36. So it's going to be 36 minus 6n. So this is the formula there. This is the case because this is the general term. So to check, you can put 1 here, the place to find the first term. Let's see. Our formula is correct. When you put 1, 6 times 1 there, that will be 6. No? Therefore, 36 minus 6, that will be 30. So that means our general term is correct. So that's how you can work with a linear or an arithmetic sequencing. Hope you find this video useful, and don't forget to subscribe and like. And remember, we love you.